Language that do not speak. Silence as a form of knowledge in education.
School values the spoken word.
To speak is to participate.
To respond quickly is to know.
But why is knowledge also resides in silence?
What happens when a body is silent but observes, feels, and learns?
Like for me, I think for me it's very important because I get distracted a lot, so I always silence so I don't distract myself with, I don't know, a random bird in the sky or something.
I think silence in the room means that it depends on the people. Firstly, I think most of students might be in silence because they can be concentrating on what they're doing. Maybe they are thinking the responses or what the teacher just said. And also it depends, you can see in the faces of the kids or the children that maybe they are confused, so that's why they are in silence.
Sometimes that people are learning or thinking or reflecting about some topics, and in other cases is because maybe people is not putting attention at the topic, or they are thinking on other things.
When you have an idea in your mind, you need to be in silence first to understand what you learn. So yes, I think you can learn in silence.
I think so that it's very important to understand that I have, or it's necessary have many moments of silence, that you have learning or teach many skills or development skills if you have many moments of silence. It's important for this scenario, university or other education apply.
Answering the question that you asked, in considering the importance of body language in the classroom, we must all agree that 50% of communication depends on body language. Not just the words we say, but how we express and how we use our body to communicate ideas. So teachers should be aware of that part, because that's going to tell them a lot about what the student wants to say or how the student feels. I remember once I was in a class and there was a student with his head lying on the desk, and then I asked him, I approached him and asked him hey, what happens to you? And then he told me, teacher, I couldn't sleep last night and I have a lot of problems. So I didn't want to interpret his lying his head on the desk as someone disruptive or uninterested. Rather than that, he taught me that we have to consider his language because he wants to say something. So teachers have to know this to interpret situations in the classroom.
I think the teachers must develop this ability of non-verbal language, because you're in a class when some kids don't want to express their ideas or don't want to say something because they're shy. So developing a non-verbal language is important to understand the classroom and the students.
What happens if we look at silence from two opposing ways of understanding knowledge? On the one hand, there is traditional epistemology, the one that has dominated schools for decades, the positivism. On the other, paths are opening up that come from the south, from the margins, from lived experience, epistemologies of body and of silence, with a decolonial perspective.
From a positivist perspective, knowledge is constructed through what is observable, what can be measured, what can be said. It is validated through tests, quantifiable results, and correct answer. In this context, silence has no place. It is interpreted as assent, as a lot of participation of knowledge. Silence speaks volume, but not always of wisdom.
Silence is an important thing for anybody in any context, not only in the context of a class, because silence is the precise opportunity for listening to someone, for listening attentively to someone else when they are expressing their opinion or when they want to talk about something in particular and you need to reply to them. So silence in any context is very important. In the class it's also important, but as a general rule, I think that teachers should consider that when a student is silent, they can be either thinking about how to answer the question more correctly, or maybe they have a problem. But as a general rule, I don't think they should begin with thinking that they have a problem. I personally believe, because I am also a silent person, I personally believe that it's very helpful to be silent and to listen.
The epistemology of the body and silence invite us to consider that we're also learning and teach through listening. Thou pause, thou gesture. Here, silence is not empty. Is it a presence that cares, that observes, that also communicates? Knowledge is not only said, it is also felt, embodies, and intuities. All bodies, even if they do not speak, can be legitimate producers of knowledge. Well, one epistemology seeks proof, another seeks meaning. One sees silence and emptiness, another as deep. I grew up believing that silence was ignorance. Today I see it as a space full of meaning. As a student, I learn to listen. Without interrupting, as a future teacher, I want to recognize the value of what is left unsaid.
And you, do you know how to listen to the knowledge that doesn't speak?